If your tenant asks for a rent reduction, do this. Now, I got a call this weekend from a property owner. Their tenants want to renew for 18 months and they're asking for a rent reduction because, get this, their utility bills went up. My answer, no, absolutely not. And I'm going to explain exactly why and what you should do instead. So we take calls in our office from property owners who need help. Sometimes it's finding a tenant. Sometimes it's managing maintenance requests. And a lot of times it's this: an owner who is dealing with a tenant issue and does not know the best course of action, doesn't want to necessarily call an attorney, and wants to get the property management manager's perspective on it first. And 9 times out of 10, the root of the problem traces back to the lease. And it wasn't written well. It doesn't protect the owner. And now they're stuck in a gray area. So here's the situation that I was dealing with over the weekend. A tenant in a really nice part of Marin County with access to a country club and with limited inventory in a very desirable neighborhood wants to renew a lease. And they want 2 things though. They want an 18-month lease and they also want a rent reduction because their utility bills went up. Now, first, an 18-month lease is not great. If you sign an 18-month lease right now in Marin County, you are setting yourself up for disappointment because it will expire in October of 2028, 2027. I got to do the math on that. And not only that, that's when the market really slows down and you've got holidays coming up. Your pool of qualified tenants really shrinks. The days on market go up. You really want your lease to expire in the spring or summer. Generally speaking, like between March and the beginning of June is the sweet spot for new leases and renew leases to be signed because demand is high. There's limited inventory. You can get the most money for your rent. So when you renew a lease for 12 months right now, it puts you right back in April and you are primed to have the best time, best opportunity to increase rents or rent your property faster. Now, let me be clear on this. With a rent reduction, there's no scenario where you should reduce rent because your tenant's utility bills went up. That's not how this works. Your rental is a business, people. It's a business, which means it needs to make money in order for you to call it a business. Otherwise, it's just a hobby. Am I right? The cost of running businesses go up every single year. Property taxes go up, insurance goes up, maintenance costs go up. And right now, if you're watching or listening to this in April of 2026, we're dealing with tariffs. We're dealing with a war in Iran. We're dealing with all kinds of issues. Interest rates are still up. Gas prices are going up. Create supply chain issues. Which causes vendor costs to go up. The cost of repairs are going to get even higher. And interest rates, again, they're not coming down. So the cost of ownership and running your business is higher. And you see this in restaurants. You see this in coffee stations. And you see it definitely at the gas station. Everything around you is getting more expensive. And if your tenant wants you to charge less for your business, no, you're not going to walk into Starbucks and start negotiating on a latte, people. That just doesn't happen. You're not going to be at the gas pump and asking for a 50% discount on the cost of gas. It's not going to work. It won't fly, and it should not fly for your rental business. And if anything, you need to increase rent at renewal no matter what. And I told this owner that same thing. I said, listen, you need to raise the rent on this tenant by at least $100, not reduce your rent, increase it. And you also need to make them sign a 12-month lease instead of an 18-month lease renewal. And here's why it's a good deal for the tenant. I'm going to talk to you about this right now. So $100 increase per month for the tenant, while that's not what they asked for, it's still a good deal. Why? Well, if you think about it, 100 times 12 is $1,200, right? That's their overall cost increase to live in this property. If they were to move, they would have to hire movers. They would have to hire packers. They would be out of pocket on a security deposit, out of pocket on the first month's rent. And that's going to cost them 2 to 3 to 4, probably 5 times as much as it would cost just to stay in that property for $1,200 without any of the inconvenience, without any of the annoyance, without having to upheave the life at all. It's better. It's cheaper to stay put. Now, they may not see it that way, but mathematically, it's far cheaper and it's far more convenient. And that's your leverage every single time. So use it. And the message I come back every single time is that you have to run your rental like a business. Your property needs to make money. And it needs to continue to make money because inevitably something is going to break: a roof, a water heater, an AC unit, a furnace, an appliance you weren't expecting. And it's going to cost you real money, and you need to be financially prepared for it. And here's what a lot of independent landlords do. They miss this big thing. The biggest return on your rental property isn't the monthly cash flow. They miss this point. It's the equity in your property that builds every single year. And that equity, in order for that equity to grow as much as possible, the property needs to be well managed, well maintained, and priced correctly. That means timely renewals. That means annual rent increases that track the market and that helps keep the property, aka the product, in good shape. Now, the two biggest losses I see from independent landlords are, number one, a bad tenant, because that cost is emotional, it's financial, it's time consuming, and it's just brutal. But a close second to that is not renewing your leases on time, missing the window where you can increase your rents for the most amount of money that year when the market supports it. And that's just money left on the table every single year, and it compounds year over year, because you could have a hot year and miss the market, and then next year it cannot be hot, and now you are faced with like not being able to increase your rents as much as you are, and you're now at a deficit. So how we handle this at Foundation Homes Property Management and at Gold Street Property Management is that we have every single property on a renewal schedule. Before a lease expires, we run a market analysis. We look at comparable rents. We assess the inventory levels, and we give our owners the data they need to make the right call. You need the data. You need to know what you're talking about. And right now, we know that inventory is limited in our market. If you're watching this again in 2026, spring of 2026, there's not a lot of inventory out there. And so what we're doing right now is we're pushing rent increases higher on renewals. Why? Because we can leverage that. We're trying to, new properties that are coming in, they're going to get premium rental rates because the market is going to support it. And that's how you maximize your ROI every single year. My friends, that is my time today. My name is Christopher Barrow. I am the founder at Foundation Homes Property Management. I'm also a partner with Gold Street Property Management in Sonoma County, and we specialize in property management and helping investment owners protect their assets, stay compliant, and actually make money. So if you own a rental property and you're not sure whether to raise rent or how to handle a tenant request, or you just want someone who gets it, come to Foundation Homes Property Management. Come to foundationhomes.com, go to goldstreetproperties.com, follow us on Instagram, LinkedIn, and on Facebook. And for more content like this, real life scenarios, real numbers, and the property management perspective that most people never hear, check us out. I'll see you next time. I'm out.